Do I have to start paying my photographer
For Soxo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much. So if I wanted someone to do, say, a voiceover for my daughter's birthday, and I paid him, I would have to pay him Soxo. Otherwise, I would be breaking the law. Okay? No EPF mandatory. It's only a Soxo.
Well, that's fascinating that no EPF is a complaint from a worker.
Yeah.
I will tell you at least 40% of my workers have opted out from EPF. Even though I opt them in. I 100% opt people in if you're Malaysian.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Siapa Makan Cili with me, your host Iqbal, and
I am Chuck. Nice to see you all again. And today we have a very special host. We have Francesca from GoGet.
Woo! Welcome, Francesca. Thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you were a former management consultant at Boston Consultancy Group, is that right?
Yes.
And then you moved on to start your own company.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Oh, wow, we're going to those. Okay. Wow, well, it happened, I would say, after 4 years of being in the consulting business. It's just 4 years, yes, but actually the average tenureship for BCGers is 2.
So the average person only lasts 2 years at BCG?
The average tenureship, yeah. Yeah, so actually I was extra long.
It's funny, because BCG was the only consultancy group I actually applied for way back when.
Oh, great.
And they sent me the nicest rejection letter I've ever gotten in my entire life.
Oh, that's
From
so
any
nice.
rejection letter?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Usually rejection letter just like, sorry, you didn't get it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So like, we're really, really sorry that we couldn't find a place for someone of your unique capabilities. And yeah, we really hope that you'll get something else that suits your unique whatever. They just kept calling me like a unique snowflake, basically.
Well, there you go.
This is millennial parenting at its peak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you went on to do this, so you see?
Yeah, what about you? So after 4 years at Boston Consulting Group, then what happened after
Well,
that? So
that was the year where smartphones were getting a lot more affordable, and people were doing the transition from I don't know what you call it, brick phones to smartphones, and then applications were on smartphones. And so we just it was three founders in total, including me. And we just had this fun idea. We would always meet up for coffee and go oh, we should do this, we should do this. But actually it went into an actual idea where we thought, we could create a platform where people could put tasks up into this open network, and anyone in this open network that's logged into it could just see these tasks. And if they're just kind of on the way or wants to help out someone in the community, they can take the task and then they get tipped. Back then we called it tip. You get tipped for helping out someone in the community. So it was never a fee. It was really this is actually how much you tip for. And it was usually if you're on the way, could you pick this up by the way? And our theory was...
This was 2015?
No, this was 2014. And this is before, I actually know the year Uber entered the country, because that was also the year we did GoGet.
Right.
So Uber started in 2014, January, around then.
oh my God, we started in 2014 too.
Yeah, there you go. And back then, before that, the only person that knew your address was a Pizza Hut or a delivery or Domino's guy.
Right.
So
the world was very different.
The world was so different. And getting into someone's back seat in their car was not normal.
Yeah. So how did that idea even cross you guys in your mind?
Well, because it was all starting to happen where we knew that if this small little computer is going to get to be a couple hundred ringgit and be in someone's pocket, we thought it would be really cool to create a platform that basically made a more efficient city. And so we said 80-20 rule. 80% of people want kind of the same things in these 20% of locations. So if you're in a meeting, someone probably is down there eating the nasi lemak that you probably also want to just pick it up and get that person to pick it up and bring it to you because you can't get out of the meeting. And so we just thought there will be efficiency if you could just share that information out. It was just the belief of sharing your needs in a common platform. And someone on the way back from Klang may be able to pick up your business cards from the factory as they're coming into PJ. So it was just connecting the city to create opportunities that we never had before. And hopefully it just created a better city. And that was literally the birth of GoGet.
So it's kind of like that whole Chinese, do you understand Chinese?
Yeah,
Like
a bit.
Sun Lo, that kind of thing. Like it's on the way.
Yes,
I'll just
yes,
get it for you.
that's right.
That was the original concept.
The original was helping someone else in the community, being a go-getter and going out of your way to help. And it was very much an exchange of your time for helping someone else.
I remember from those early days of ride sharing, and that was kind of the idea of it back then. It wasn't supposed to be like a taxi. It was supposed to be I'm on my way to a destination and you can just hop in my car.
That's right. It really wasn't like this is going to be your income. It was just like, hey, if you're on the way, we could just try to help each other out and I'll pick you up.
That has obviously changed.
That's changed a lot.
Did you anticipate that change?
No. I think how GoGet is today, no one, or at least I definitely wouldn't be able to guess that GoGet would have transformed to what it is today. And a lot of GoGet today is definitely built by the community because of and for the community, and for the ideas that they bring to us, we would never have done that, some of these changes.
So we found this article and we wanted to ask you, like, was the pandemic like a catalyst for you guys to change your business model?
Actually, we changed our business model in 2016 to be exact, which is prior to 2020.
Yep.
But not many people kind of know this. And actually, you know what? COVID does the opposite to us, which is shifts us more towards B2C, which is not technically what we changed our business model to.
So you changed your business model to B2B.
Correct. So in
2016.
2016, we rolled out GoGet Business.
Okay.
So you can see this in all our like social media. Then you can go back and you see GoGet Business start showing up 2016.
Yep.
And the reason why was because this is 2 years after we've launched. Obviously, you know, and we launched free as a platform. So for like a good 2 years, we were basically just an NGO, I would say.
Okay.
right. But time started ticking where we're like, hey, you know what? We actually need to start charging. And the trigger point was when a go-getter walked into our office. We have an open door policy where they can walk into our office and have a chat. And one of the regular go-getters knocked on my door and said, hey, when are you charging us? And I go, oh, why? And he goes, well, you should, because if you shut down, like we all lose our jobs.
I guess how far into the journey was this?
And this was then 1.5 years into it, and we hadn't charged. And so and then I remember we just made a milestone. We said, look, because originally why we didn't charge is we wanted to prove that we had value, prove what is that value. Also, we had to understand that, and then will people be willing to pay for it, for that value, right? And then and how much. And so when we got that feedback, then I said, hey, you know, how about this? If we can prove we can create 1 million ringgit of income to people's pockets, then I think we can kind of justify, say we have some place here to figure out how we can be sustainable and then start charging. So it was very easy for us to turn on the revenue tab because we did tell everyone that it's after we make 1 million into people's pocket, not 1 million from our pocket, to the go-getter pockets. And then we said, guys, if we want to keep doing this, we need to charge because otherwise we can't survive. And around then is also when platforms started charging as well. That's also when the other ride-sharing apps started putting commission. Yeah.
Uber was charging from day one. I mean, what do you mean by that? Ride sharing.
Well, no, they were raising their percentages around that time.
Okay.
And I remember we were one of the lowest percentage.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess prior to that wake up moment
Yeah.
of that person entering your office, what was the revenue kind of idea you guys had?
Prior to it?
Yeah.
We did not go in stipulating a revenue channel.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
You kind of just had an idea
We
for
just said we'll just try to build a product that would help the community and see where it goes, and then we'll eventually charge. We knew we eventually would charge, but we never knew exactly what it would be. Yeah.
And so then the pandemic came, and how did that change everything again?
So in 2016, we rolled out GoGet Business because when we started charging, we looked at our database, and the people who gave us the most money were actually these SMEs. It would be like companies like La Juiceria, Bloom This. These are small SMEs.
To send food? Or
so at first, I don't know if you remember this famous chef called Ili Sulaiman, Dish by Ili. So she's like a famous online chef as well. I mean, chef that's on TV. And essentially, she would get go-getters to help in the kitchen to prepare the food, pack, and then we would deliver the tiffins to offices back in the day where a lot of people had office lunches delivered before Food Panda and like Grab Food was a regular food delivery. Those days. Yeah, that was Chopsy.
So this was Grab Food.
This was the beginning, and then alternatively, we had La Juiceria that we used to deliver their juices.
Yep.
So when we saw these were the accounts, we said, oh dear, like we've been building a consumer app. So we called up each of the accounts and we said, hey, how's your experience been? You know, are you okay with it? And we met, I remember we met the top 50 accounts physically and you know, they would then go, well, it sucks, you know. I would like a dashboard. I don't want to do cash. Can we please do online? Can you like get me a regular go-getter? Where's the insurance in this? And I go, oh, so we just went down and we built everything.
Wow.
And then in 6 months, we turned out something called GoGet Business, which is prepaid credits. So it's online. You have a dashboard. You could post for a regular go-getter. You could get your favorite, and you don't have to find another person every time.
Yeah.
So we just built it out and we launched it in 2017, like beginning of the year. Sorry, like I think, like Feb maybe. And so then we started getting SMEs that were early adopters that would be easy to move and shift to like suddenly adopt a freelance worker. Then we started building out what kind of scopes. So then we broke even actually as a business around 2018.
Okay.
And so then we closed a round with one of our investors in 2019, at the end of 2019. So we signed the term sheet 2020 March.
What's in 2020?
Right?
Yeah.
And I remember we signed it in March, I think 14th, because 2 days later, March 16th happened. So I know the date and when we did lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah. So we locked down, and then I looked at the investors, because the hypothesis was, can you now scale the business to beyond deliveries, but can you build out like a vertical for waiters, for servers, for receptionists, for admin staff, for promoters, retail staff, right? So then we said, yeah, let's now take this investment and start growing the other verticals. And then the moment it's locked down, I turned it into a dispatch company. And actually consumers started coming onto my app, not businesses. Because consumers are ordering food, this, right? And all that.
Yeah, and delivery picked up in a big way, right?
Massively.
Yeah.
Massively.
So it turned out to be good for you guys.
It turned out to be good. So actually, I should clarify, half of it was consumer and the other half is going to be the business aggregators that then aggregated the dispatch request and sent it to us. So we're integrated with other players that provide delivery as a service.
Like Lala Move?
No, like Store Hub, Beep, when they need delivery.
Okay.
When you order a cake from Cake Together, Cake Today,
Yeah.
they would then be delivering from us.
Yeah.
We will be integrated with POS companies. So whenever you order from that POS app, you can also get a delivery option.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to fast forward to today now because we're here to talk about actually the gig bill. So for those who in the audience who might not know about GoGet right now, so what is the current iteration of what you guys do? As far as I know, it's still a bit B2B as well, right? Still?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
It's actually the B2B's majority.
With like furniture assembly and food service and catering and those kind of things, right?
So furniture assembly would be called the consumer side.
Okay.
Because you're just like assembling only just someone's like chair at home.
Okay.
But I would tell you around like 80 to 90% of our business today is B2B.
Is what, sorry?
B2B.
I know, but what kind?
Oh, so we work for a lot of the big e-commerce companies to do warehouse packers.
Okay.
We work with a big retailer to staff their retail shops.
Okay.
So the person checking you out in a fashion clothing store, maybe a go-getter.
Interesting.
And then we have F&B.
Yeah.
So, and then we even have certain financial institutions that need us to do data entry or data cleaning.
Oh, wow.
And then to your understanding, like these retailers, or they're going through GoGet because these folks are just like short-term hire kind of things?
Well, it's a range. So for GoGet right now, so now fast forward today, what do we offer? Right? So for go-getters, they have a range of as short as 1 day and a couple of hours to then we can engage them for a project that's 3 months to 6 months. But they're getting the shifts, like they can pick like, I want the Monday shift and the Friday shift. Or I want the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't want to work on the weekend. Right? So we are part of like helping them staff that. And then the last one that we have, which is actually full-time job postings on our platform. So as a company, you can go on GoGet and recruit full-time from our workers as well. So it's so as a worker, you can come in and at least you can build your resume. We have a digital resume generated after you earn every hour as a worker, as a gig worker. Then it goes into your resume to say, oh, you now have 100 hours as a waiter. And these are all the restaurants you've worked for. And that resume gets sent to, if you apply on our app for a full-time job, it will be sent to the full-time job application.
Can I understand, like for all these services, say for instance, like packing?
Yeah.
What's the ratio that these companies have of part-time and full-time?
That's a great question. Every industry is different.
Okay.
So if you go to the e-commerce industry and you look at the warehouse segment, majority of them are outsourced third-party providers.
Majority?
Yes.
I'm curious, curious again, is that a choice of the corporate or is that a choice of the worker market?
It's typically a demand dynamic. When you go and have 11/11 and you have orders that go crazy, what do you do?
Okay.
You can't hire full-time for those counts, right?
Interesting.
Right? So to manage fluctuations of orders, you have to keep a very dynamic workforce.
Right.
And we are now essentially a modern age version of a staffing company.
Interesting.
We're actually a HR tech for staffing, right?
Right,
And we're new
yeah.
age.
That was kind of the use application I was trying to wrap my head around in
Yes,
terms of just like, if I'm Parkson, why wouldn't I just hire these
directly,
people?
right? Yeah, we're
to
like
be
a staffing company. And we give out a project management service if it's a very big client that prefers to work through a project manager.
And now I'm curious again, the average person in GoGet that goes to pack on 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, what's he doing in between?
So there's a huge, it's great. A lot of people think that, I guess, the 9 to 5 is a typical bucket. But there's a range, there's a few segments. So first segment is the students that are kind of like studying in semester breaks, and then they can do that. The other ones that are actually not full-time, but they do gig work, are like, they could be a tuition teacher, a fitness instructor, a swimming coach. They don't have a 9 to 5. They have clients in the morning, clients in the evening. They kind of have a free thing in between. And then we have people who are unemployed. We have retirees. And then we have people just in between jobs. Now, don't dismiss, technically, we have also people who have full-time jobs that also are gig workers. They do this after work. They do it before work. Sometimes some of them have taken leave from their main thing to do a big campaign weekend because they know that they can just like make that surge money. And that's kind of like the type of people we have. Yeah.
Wow. And they all have ratings based on how well they performed previously in these kind of tasks.
That's right.
So how many different task verticals do you have to log these?
We have 4 pillars.
Okay.
So we have one called logistics, which is where the warehouse packing happens, the delivery happens, moving boxes. Then we have operations. That's the retail staff. You're looking at the waiters, correct, right? Customer service. Then you have sales and marketing. A promoter in an event in the shopping mall. You notice when someone's having a event in the center and they have promoters all around. That's us staffing them. Sales and marketing can also be just sales admin work, sales like just sales work.
Something like video shooting, would that fall under?
We currently have, we call it live streaming. And so it's the new age of flyering, right? And they're just doing that. And then finally we have admin, which is like call centers, data entry. People love that because it's aircon.
And what other rankings do these go-getters have? Do they have like dependability type rankings?
Yes, we have a few things. So one is first your actual rating. Then second is reviews, which is open text.
Okay.
Then third is actually a reliability score, which is for the job you take, what percentage you show up and complete. Then we have what we call experience tag. So if you've already done, let's say, 10 hours in X amount of scope, then you start building experience. When you've done 100, you start getting an experience tag. So you get actually a higher price on GoGet. So we have when you enter, actually you can go in the app, and if you post a job, you can choose. You're like, do I want an experienced person, a reliable person, which is reliability score, or anyone? And if you select different ones, it gives you different rates. This is our promise so that our community are going to get higher pay. And this helps actually one of the age-old situation for labor market in Malaysia, which is how do you raise wages, right? And so if we embed that they have experience and we embed that they have reliability, they should be paid more. And so that's actually on a tech level, and there's no like, I feel this, I feel that, and the moment you get that, and as long as someone's willing to pay for a higher price, it only gets shown to people with that experience and with that reliability.
It sounds like there's some element of like gamification happening there.
There is,
And okay.
Okay, so that's, I think, a perfect segue because we've seen that how something that you started originally for people with spare time to just help the guy next to them.
That's right.
Has now become a B2B business with real value. And that's kind of been the direction for arguably the whole gig economy, right?
Yes, that's right.
It's to an extent become a very, very big contributing part of our economy, right? So we're here obviously today to talk about the gig bill. And I mean, I was amazed at this number. Like it basically affects 1.2 million Malaysians, which is what 3-4% of our population at least. I feel like there's more than that. I feel like
but does that, to your knowledge, does that cover everyone? Because to our understanding, there were more than that.
So that's an interesting stat. So I went on the labor site for DOSM and we found that there were 3.2 million own account workers, but this is a different category, and we'll definitely get to this later. But first of all, for gig workers themselves, 1.2 million, is that right?
So that would be, okay, so 10% of our population is 3 million.
Yeah, correct.
So we're saying that it's 3%.
Yes.
Right? I think that's low.
Yeah, it's low, right?
Extremely low.
It feels low. How did they come up with this number? Do you know?
So it depends on definitions, and we all debate this, right? And one of the main things is how they're defining it. And I feel this could be what they call, and this is where you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
You mean this?
Yeah. There we go. Because if they go, hey, full-time employment from gig type of work, and they don't unemployed, that may be closer to that number.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are not that.
So for those of you out there, basically Malaysia passed a gig bill in August this year, and it basically sets up an infrastructure, hopefully, for gig workers and gig platforms like your GoGet here.
And consumers and businesses.
And consumers, basically to operate around an official platform rather than there being a lawlessness kind of,
That's right.
And so how long has it been lawless, quote unquote, for?
Well, you can just say roughly a decade.
A decade. It's
Yeah.
been a
Since
decade of
the
lawlessness.
ecosystem
Like
first
kind of like
birthed
started,
it.
growing.
Okay, so before we
Which
get
is great. I mean, like I'm very proud to see like from the start to end.
Yeah.
I mean, not to end, to like maturity.
And so before we get into the definitions, which we'll definitely get into in a bit, let's talk about this lawless 10 years, right?
Yeah.
First of all, obviously, it takes time for any government to catch up with
Yes,
whatever's going
that's
on,
right.
Like we don't have AI legislation yet, for example.
No, yeah.
So in 10 years, we've come up with a gig workers bill. How many governments around the world have something similar?
I was gonna say, don't count this as slow. This is still good. Okay.
Okay.
And I would always also, and there's no one paying me to say this. I genuinely believe that the Malaysian government actually has the capability of being at the forefront and has shown it through certain facts, right?
Madani.
Yeah, I mean, and whether it's government or also like agencies that are linked to the government. So EPF, for example, I don't know any other platforms. Pension funds in the world that have APIs with platforms that allow us to self-contribute a portion directly to EPF. So our gig workers today do not need to do anything. The moment I have their details, I can link it to their EPF account if they have one, and then I can start contributing to them. These need APIs. So EPF sandboxed this and did this already, I think 2022.
Sorry, hold up a second. So basically, GoGet actually pays your workers EPF, even though sometimes your workers are paid on a daily rate?
So we do contributions for the workers. And what is made out of that? What is inside the contribution? Their total income and a percentage of the income goes into savings, into EPF, right? Now, income is what you get paid for a job plus incentives from the platform. So technically, portion of our incentives will also go into their EPF. So we have also, if you do well, we start contributing to your EPF, in short.
You have to pass by, say, an experienced tab or something like that? Or...
Yeah, like we have incentives now that's like do your first job, or like do 5 jobs in a row without failing, you know, and then it starts adding to your statement. And then if you turn on, if you don't turn off, because we auto turn on for you, so we default on. That's how serious we are about it. And if you turn it off, then fine, we will not actually contribute for you. But if you maintain status quo, we will take a portion and we will actually put it to your EPF.
Okay. Let's go back to the lawlessness of this whole last 10 years. Where have the needs been for a gig bill most obviously for you in this 10 years?
I do think one of the most powerful aspect would be protection on an insurance level, which is Progresso.
Insurance,
which is great.
SOXO, okay.
So why? Is because firstly, as a platform, we from day one have always, we buy our own insurance. But I will tell you, it was like pulling teeth from the insurance providers because I had to explain to them what my model is and say, can you insure my workers? And they would go, I don't understand. Can you give us a list of employees? And I'm like, no. How can I give you a list of employees?
Right. Yep.
I don't know when they're going to work. And I also cannot give you my whole database. So I need to just be able to call on a case and say, I can prove to you that they worked on my platform. But if there's a case, I need to submit to you. And you need to cover maybe a quota then. Right? So I had to go and source in the US because insurance companies there started creating products for the US companies like Uber, Instacart, Lyft. So they were a little bit more forward. And so then from there, I said, hey, do you have a Malaysian counterpart? You just like talk to each other. And can you just like send the file and then like get the Malaysian department to create a solution? And true enough, it worked.
Yeah.
And it was great because I honestly think I was the only gig platform that was able to kind of like create that just because this connection. Otherwise, it's really difficult, right? And so we cover personal accident. But I would say it's not great because they don't have the statistics to cover so well in terms of actuary science, right? So
because not enough data.
there's not much data.
Yeah.
So I can only cover like so much.
Yeah.
And thankfully, you know, the government here actually provides really good healthcare for Malaysians. You can go to public healthcare and it's actually good. So to be fair, thankfully we have that baseline. But it would be nice to give them extra coverage, especially for like physiola, these things if they want after and things like that. So because I remember being called by a go-getter like in the community because it's ran by communities. One of the community leads said, hey, someone got into an accident, it's pretty serious, can you come to the hospital? And we went, and I remember going, this package is not good. This package is really not good enough.
This is under the insurance that you guys
that we have. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
If you give couple 10,000 is not much for the true damage that may happen.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're like, this is then you're like, how can this really be covered? Then I'm like, well, the true and the best provider, to be fair, Workeso is the best provider for providing real coverage. Right. And so that's when it's like my mission then was like, if we can make the same benefits that you get from a full-time employment, if we can give those benefits to a gig worker, I feel like my job would be like done. Like I would feel that as success.
At what point did that realization occur? How like this accident?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I would say 2015 maybe.
Okay, so
like
very early
on.
Oh, very early.
But so you realized the lawlessness of the land.
But because we still had a safety net, and then we topped it up with we have an insurance partner where we add another layer where a worker wants to opt in for a higher range. So we don't force it, but if they opt in for 1 ringgit for a day or 20 ringgit for 30 days, they get extra insurance. And we have that via APIs with the company today.
Okay.
And we did that very early on.
Wow.
I think we did that in 2016 or 17.
So you guys did that before the gig bill?
100%, yeah.
Right.
EPF is before the gig bill.
Yeah.
We also have a private insurance partner, private savings partner.
So then from your perspective, does the gig bill kind of level the playing field a little bit in that sense by forcing all platforms to offer protection? So is that a good thing or?
I think it's always good to ensure the overall industry is actually sustainable.
Okay.
Then we all have a place to say that we are brought into the fold of the fundamental economy and we're here to stay.
Okay.
Going back to Chuck's question then, I guess, were there other parts of, you working with the people who are on an ad hoc basis, like that you realize we need certain coverages that don't currently exist?
Well, yeah. So we actually rolled out private savings first. And that was not with the EPF stamp, right? It was a private savings app.
Yeah.
And the biggest question people go like, oh, can trust
Yeah.
What is this like, is it safe? And then I'm like, man, like, I need a brand that is like 100% you will not question.
Yeah.
You can put the money with that brand. You know it's helping you save.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess EPF is honestly the best brand you could have. So then we had multiple meetings with EPF. They were open. They did a sandbox. They created the APIs. I have to say COVID accelerated it because that was when they said, okay, let's quickly protect. And that's when we had the ear of the government, right? How do we protect workers? It was like wonderful.
You and my wife are the only two people that think that MCO was a miracle.
Oh,
Because she's an introvert, she loves being at home.
yes. I do personally enjoy just like the walks in the evenings.
Yeah.
So that was one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would say I have a belief that also, okay, if you take down and you break down full-time employment benefits, you have EPF, you have SOXO, HRDF. This is my last one that I genuinely believe I want to do. Yeah.
Training.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Why not allow
Yeah.
for us just the same thing, percentage to get into a pool. And then that worker starts having pile of money for training, right? And then why not just allow, instead of $2,000 training sessions in a hotel room, we can do micro learning certs online. And I can exchange my money to go take these micro training certs. That would be great. I've been asking for this as much as I can. And I hope I can get it eventually.
Right.
But that would be,
that's still in the process kind of thing? Or?
it's difficult. You need to make sure that they provide it. Right? Yeah.
By the way, Chili Sauce is an official HRDC certified training provider. If you guys are looking for training on social media, call us. Sorry, go on.
There we go. But yeah, so these are some of the things that I would suggest. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the definitions now. So, gig worker, I'll read this out based on the bill, means an individual who A, citizen or permanent resident of Malaysia, and then B, enters into a service agreement with a contracting entity for the performance of any service with the entity or any service as specified in the schedule with the contracting entity who is not a platform provider, and C, receives earnings for the service. That seems okay to a layman like me who is not a lawyer. What's missing?
What's missing?
Yeah.
Is anything missing?
So the good thing is they actually stipulate even people without platform.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Right?
So meaning just like a freelancer who decides to do voice acting on the side? Like what would that entail?
Voice acting, usually you probably even have a contract with the voice studio. I would probably say like babysitting, tuition teacher,
Dog walker.
So
right?
wait, these people
swimming coach. They don't take it from a platform. There's no platform that gives you most of the time your swimming coach is like, hey, let me chit chat with you. Oh, sorry. Let me chit chat with you, and then and then I just start training your daughter as a swimming coach, right?
So I need to clarify that then. Contracting entity, does that mean any business that signs any sort of invoice or paperwork with anybody?
Yeah, so this means it doesn't have to be a platform like a company like tech platform.
Right.
This means all your other like if you also as Chili Sauce is going to now start giving a one-off freelance gig for a videographer.
Yep.
They're in here.
I didn't know.
Did you know?
that? I didn't
They're
know
in here.
that.
Yeah.
But wait, so then your example of babysitter, and if it's just a parent who wants to go out on a Saturday night and then they contract their neighbor's kid to babysit.
Actually, okay, we should pull out the schedule. It actually says the schedule.
The schedule.
See,
The,
specified
B2.
in the schedule.
Oh, right. I don't have that
okay.
with me right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
understand.
I think it's a subset.
Okay.
They're not going to include everything, but
Right.
and then I can try to do it now.
Yeah,
on my
yeah,
phone.
please. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's an important part of the information. So like if I pay for someone to cut my grass, for instance, or agency to come clean my house, does that mean that I need to pay them SOXO as well?
Let
Or
me
is that
get you-
unclear right now?
Let me get you the schedule.
Okay.
No, I have the thing.
You have the schedule?
document. Yeah, and I
Can I see the schedule?
power to amend schedule. Okay, there you go. I have schedule. Okay, there we go. I have it.
Okay. What does it say?
Acting, so actor,
Hey.
film production crew, for music related activities, singer, musician, composer, lyricist, makeup artists, hairstylists, interpreters, so sign interpreters, translators, transcribers. Hey, journalists are on this.
Wow.
Stringers, caregivers. Oh wait, this is comprehensive. Photographers and videographers. Okay, done. That's the full.
And you didn't notice? Isn't that crazy?
Yes, but also the jobs that you mentioned are not in there.
So maksudnya babysitter.
Oh, no, I'm platform.
Huh?
I'm platform.
Oh,
I'm covered in platform.
So a babysitter
Interesting.
would. So if someone were to find a babysitter on GoGet, they would be covered in.
Yeah, but your schedule said to include or not include?
It's not on the schedule here.
Yeah, to include, right? Oh, babysitter is not in the
Yeah,
schedule. Oh,
babysitter
okay.
is not in
Yes,
the
correct. A
schedule.
babysitter came from platform. So actually, Kiddo Care is covered in this.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
So I'm platform. I'm by mode
Yep.
of getting the work.
yeah.
So everyone by
Any service
platform,
with any
Doesn't
contracting
matter.
entity.
Platform has to do it.
any platform, okay, is covered.
Covered.
So even like people like Gautim and all that would also be a
Yeah,
platform. lah.
Katim no longer here, right?
Yeah, but so then on top of that, all those categories
Yeah.
are automatically covered,
Who? Yeah.
Regardless
even
of
if
mode.
they're not on a platform
Platform.
provider. Okay.
which means that they need to pay us SOXO if we are freelance journalists, actors.
Yes.
Performance.
Well, they need to not pay you. They contribute. Soxo has to be part of the engagement.
Right, right. Is that infrastructure set up for micro
Now
SOXO
that is the great question.
Yeah, because then how?
Because you would need e-invoicing or something to track that SOXO thing, right? So
That's
if I
a
nailed
great
something
question.
that you possibly wanted to nail, but you were waiting for me to ask.
I can tell you about the infrastructure that there is for platform providers.
Okay.
But you could probably go and research and ask around if, firstly, this bill has been in the news with about platform. No one even realizes part B, too.
Yep.
Where is that in the news? Secondly, then where's the infrastructure for that? Right now, how you need to contribute is you need to submit it just like payroll,
Right.
Yep.
right? Part of it has to go.
But you wouldn't do payroll with a one-off contractor.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't set up a SOXO entity just to pay off a... And then what about people like... Wait, entities? Do they include individuals? Or it has to be a company?
Contracting entity in your document? I believe you have it. Wait, I also have it. Contracting.
Contracting entity means an individual, any platform provider, or any person, including a body of persons incorporated or registered under any written law.
Basically, yes.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So
Yeah,
the
basically,
parent
yes.
who hires a babysitter
Has to.
Not through
But not
Kiddo Care or...
Yeah, but not babysitter. Like, babysitter was in the list, right?
But then,
babysitter wasn't on the list, yes. Babysitter's not on the list.
yeah,
Videographer.
but
Actor.
platform provider is a contracting entity, regardless.
Correct. But he's asking if
Ah, yeah,
individual,
yes,
like,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So if I wanted someone to do, say, a voiceover for my daughter's birthday, and I paid him, I
You
would
would
have to
need
pay him
to, yeah.
SOXO. Otherwise, I would be breaking the law.
The rights of a gig worker is
What?
Yeah. Okay, so then that's the implication, right?
So I've been focused on the platform section of this grant.
Okay.
So I haven't looked at the individual. So maybe you would need to do a separate session on that one.
Right.
But I've been looking at the platform side.
But makeup artist, if, hari tu siapa baru kahwin?
Yeah, and then photographers, especially for weddings and stuff like that, that's a common thing, right?
Yeah. And they tend to be hired straight up by the
Can be individual,
person.
right? Yeah.
I mean, it can also come to the venue, but yeah. Wait,
I feel like we just found a glitch in the matrix or something.
wait, so, yeah. Then that is the key question here. Do I have to start paying my photographer for
For Soxo.
yeah.
I mean, it's not much, but I don't know whether the facilities for that have been set lah. As far as I know, like for instance, my parents-in-law paid for Soxo for our helper. It was a difficult process to set it up and to do the monthly contributions. It can be done. It's just that I don't think a lot of people are aware of this.
But then that's the second part of the implication. If we don't do it, are we breaking the law?
Yeah, what's the penalty? Is there a penalty?
Jom, ada kat sini.
Wow, I swear to God, this is the number one podcast for us, like looking at our phones for the out of all the episodes we've ever shot.
Okay, so see, the one I'm reading is platform.
Right.
So I have platform view.
So, okay, now
Yeah.
I want to ask you as a platform owner then, when you saw this second clause in there, did your eyebrow go up?
I'm okay with contribution for insurance.
The part about
Sorry?
not platform provider, the contracting entity part.
Oh, I think it's fine because then everyone gets protected on a job.
Right.
If they fall in a hole on the street and then they break their leg, then at least they're covered.
Yep.
However, if you want to enact this,
Yeah.
ensure the infrastructure is ready and ensure the structure of the offering is suitable. So pretend you engage a videographer for one
Your
day.
wedding. Yep.
I really hope they don't make the videographer Soxo package be a cost of a whole year or a month.
Yep.
Because then it's going to cost more than one day.
Yeah.
And that's the situation for us in GoGet, at least on a platform level. We
have
to
that
do
slide from you.
Yeah.
We'll address that in a bit.
Yeah.
So I wanted to move on. I think we've got questions here, but I think we should answer them without Francesca.
If you wanted the penalty,
yeah, on penalties, how much?
any person who contravenes any provision of this act, upon conviction, 2 years prison
Yeah, goes to jail.
or 50,000 ringgit
Yeah.
fine.
I'm
That's
so
the same
glad
as
I'm married
platform.
already. Yeah.
Okay, well,
For your information, I hired all my contractors before this bill came about.
same.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's good clickbait. Yeah, we should keep that. Yeah. Okay. Moving on though, because Francesca, obviously, this is not something that we should burden you with explaining. We should actually explore this in an episode of Chili Selasa. Okay. So despite this, though, we saw this, right? It's a statement of appreciation by literally almost every gig worker platform in Malaysia, including yourselves, to say that you guys appreciate the gig bill and pledge support for a balanced regulatory framework. So first of all, I'm curious, how this statement, did you guys get together in Yamcha or something, or
We don't get together in Yamcha, but we do. It's like associations. Actually, this is I think in Malaysia there's about 228 associations in Malaysia. So you could have. I think there's the Malaysia Retail Association, right? So for us, this is really a digital platform association.
Okay.
So to be fair, we come and we really only talk about regulatory things and how we can, as an industry, make sure it's built sustainably. And we are ultimately actually just being engaged in the co-creation of any bill or any formalization of things or any law making, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because ultimately, I know the government's role, it exists for a reason. Consumers and civilians and stakeholders all also seek a service. And providers also have to have a role to ensure it's done in the right way. And the government should be there to help make sure, hey, this is safe, this is good, this is XYZ. But they can't do that without really knowing all the stakeholders and how the model really works. And that's why engagement with players, not only just us, but even with the stakeholders, the gig workers, the consumers, the clients, they should all be considered, right? Yeah, because they don't actually run businesses.
So what do you guys agree on is good about this bill?
So in nature, as you can see, this one is we just genuinely support the actual principle of it. But what we're seeking here is actually active engagement and being brought into the fold of the conversation so that it can be balanced.
Because at the time of this kind of statement of appreciation, had there been already
Yes, that's right. They were just doing the bill without consulting and engaging.
Oh, there was no
platform
council
players.
to consult the government with this bill.
Yes, and I would say even if they would Then after we released this, that there was an event that they will hold and invite.
Yeah.
But really, it was not at all what I describe as engagement is, let's have a conversation. And let's try to understand each other so that then maybe you can take away, go into then a private room without us, and then maybe write what is best.
Yeah.
This one was like, here is a big hall with 200 people, 150 of them are gig workers and 50 maybe from platform. We will showcase a presentation of what the gig bill is trying to do. And there's no Q&A. Goodbye. Thank you.
There's no Q&A.
Goodbye. I mean, there was like Q&A for 5 minutes, but who's going to really do real like engagement?
Okay.
Right? It's if you have a hall of 200 people
Yep.
and Q&A, what kind of Q&A can you do? Especially if two stakeholders are there.
Yep.
Two different types of stakeholders are there.
And it was only who was representing the government like there?
It was MOHR,
Okay.
right? And then it's like, okay, should we want to have a more like a smaller group?
Yep.
And let's engage and actually have a conversation. We have never been engaged on a table like to say, hey, what do you think with MOHR?
If you had to guess, and this is a slippery slope one, but if you did have to guess, why haven't they engaged you? Why didn't they engage you up to that point in time? Is it
Because I
this was
think
something
this
that-
bill matters to a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Okay.
1.2 million
And
Malaysians
I can
at least.
understand that
it was
there are
something they just wanted
different
to
noise
pursue.
and different agenda that certain people are doing. And that weighs more than socializing to players like us.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a way to protect the government, but also I need to speak up on behalf of the government. They do this with a lot of bills, so I don't think sometimes I don't think they do it on purpose, or it's not targeted at the gig economy per se. It's just that it's only recently that I've seen a lot more consultation for bills. Like for instance, now with the content bill, there's actually like a 2-month public engagement kind of thing, but not all ministries do that. So, I mean, that's from my experience.
Yeah.
Well, Francesca, then here's also something I'd like you to counter. So
Yeah.
maybe putting on a cynical hat and
Yeah.
thinking about, okay, if the government was coming out with a law to protect gig workers, would it not make sense to exclude the interest of the platforms? Because
That's a great question.
To a certain extent, I would think those two interests are opposed to each other.
Great question. Because you are assuming that we have to be against each other, right? Oh, not against, one side, the other side. We're
Right.
not on the same side.
Right.
One biggest thing to remember is the success of a platform is based on the success of the people.
Absolutely.
We are in no incentive
Yeah.
to fight workers.
Okay.
Right? There's no reason why we should do this. We need our workers happy and happy and happy and happy.
Because they're your lifeblood.
That is it.
Yeah.
They are my number one. If a worker is happy, the job was done well, my client is happy. It actually starts from the worker first.
Yep.
Right? Now, when you say they're doing a gig bill for workers, right? I think ultimately you should be like, we're doing a gig bill to institutionalize or govern or create governance or regulate an industry, not a population of the country,
Okay.
right? Because
Yep.
then you only do just for that stakeholder. For this to work, also, for this whole industry to work, there are 3 stakeholders. You have the platform players, you have the gig workers, and you have the clients who pay.
The consumers.
If you don't even consider
Yeah.
the consumers or the businesses that are hiring, they will no longer put jobs on these platforms.
Yeah.
And guess who will lose out?
Everybody.
The workers themselves.
The workers will not get income.
Yep. Yep.
So are you protecting the gig workers if you do not consider clients
Yep.
and the consumers? In the long run, you are not. In the long run, you will eat into their pie and reduce their income because you didn't consider we're talking about just sustainably creating a sustainable ecosystem. And that's the role of the government, in my opinion.
So the general feedback to the gig bill, at least from platform owners' view, is that it takes a very one-sided type of approach, primarily protecting the interests of gig workers without thinking of the sustainability of the industry from the platform and the consumer point of view.
Yes.
Okay. So that brings us perfectly to this, which is we came across this article by SMC, I think, that basically said a lot of critics saw holes. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, let me get to see what the industry is saying about the bill. But strangely enough, in this entire article, it talks all about the complaints from gig workers themselves. So I'll get into that first, and then later we'll get on into like the industry type criticism of the bill. Okay, so people in the gig worker segment, people who are actually gig workers, they complain about 3 things. The first one being EPF. Okay, no EPF mandatory. It's only a SOXO, right? The second complaint was they have associations but no unions. So associations don't actually have power to set pricing and that kind of thing. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, collective bargaining in Malaysia is still illegal. And the third one was the definition of gig worker as self-employed. I think they had some issues with that as well. What do you say to these criticisms, first of all, of the bill?
Well, that's fascinating that no EPF is a complaint from a worker.
Yeah.
I will tell you a lot of, at least 40% of my workers have opted out from EPF.
Interesting.
Even though I opt them in. I 100% opt people in
Yeah.
if you're Malaysian. But 40% opt out because it's nice to have for them when they think about it. But secondly, actually a portion of them already have EPF with their full-time job. Remember, we're not talking about one IC is either or. One IC number is and. Most of the time, to get that number, not 1.5, 1.2, we're looking at higher number. You actually have someone working in another job and they're doing this supplementary. I would tell you majority is doing that. That is majority. It is 20% that only is full-time. 80% is not. So they have EPF contribution also, and they treat that as, I will go my savings there, and then this gig, fast income for maybe my consumables,
Okay.
right? Now, I think between EPF and SOCSO, what's really like a baseline for survival is usually insurance, because this is whether or not you can weather through an illness or an accident or getting sick, and that's today. That is like making sure you're safe today. EPF, it's making sure you're safe tomorrow.
So then I have to ask, the gig bill, is it for protection of people who are doing this as their main income or people who are doing this as their side income?
So they have treated it like as if it is your full-time income.
Right.
That's how I read this bill. And they don't consider 80% of people who do not do this as their full-time.
And I know on your platform that you're saying that a lot of your gig workers are part-time.
Yes.
But what about on other platforms? Like say
Yeah.
Lalamu,
Yeah.
Grab,
So
and all that.
but and also on that note, for you guys, if you're saying 40% have opted out of EPS,
Yeah.
and you guys have made it
100% mandatory
auto-
first. Yeah. I mean, sorry, not mandatory, auto on.
auto on.
On by default, like
On by
Yeah.
default, correct.
Do the other platforms also do the same?
No.
Okay, so
But at
They're
least
the
it's a
only ones
litmus
with
test,
EPF.
right? At
As
least
far as I know, you guys are
this
the
is
only
the
ones with EPF,
safest.
right?
Yeah, this is the safest EPF integrated like into
Yes.
the flow. Others have EPF, but manually outside.
Right.
So, but if you use it as just an indicator, this 40% is a really good number to use.
So 40% are full-time and 60%
No,
are part-time.
40% want to
opt
opt out.
out. Yeah.
Oh, want to opt out. Oh, opt out of EPF. Right.
Hence why,
Okay.
hence why you're.
So I'm shocked
kind of-
that it says
yeah.
no EPF.
Well, I mean, it's
But
anecdotal.
this
They
could be
asked a few
then.
guys, you know?
Yeah, and actually this could come from the full-timers.
Right.
And this makes sense. That's why who is actually really behind this article, right? And who are they interviewing?
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense. For full-time, it makes sense, right? Like they want EPF.
They would want that. Okay.
Yeah, because they don't have any other any other income that is contributing to EPF.
Because ultimately, from what you're saying, it still means 60%, more than half of your worker or your gig workers.
Have opted in.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe sometimes because my UI, they don't even realize.
Oh,
they're being careful.
okay. So.
But that's also why
okay.
we did default on, because we think it's safer to be on than make you opt in,
yeah.
like actively opt in.
Yeah.
It's harder to opt out.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a good thing to opt in for.
We are moving from EPF to associations, but no unions. So I think the criticism in this case was gig workers basically saying that we can't actually bargain with platforms. We can form associations and yamcha, but we can't really do anything else beyond that.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so this was about the price setting one, right?
Not necessarily, but it could
okay.
also be things like, payment terms. It could be, just general
Conditions, rates,
industry,
whatever. Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
of life type stuff. Yeah.
So I think like any industry, right? Especially when you have multiple players, and thankfully this industry is swimming with competitors. We are not a monopoly. No one is a monopoly, really. Well, at least not my
Okay.
section.
Yeah.
So with that, the power of the platform is very weak, actually. We need gig workers to take the job. If I put it low, what would happen? Nobody would take this.
They'll go to another platform.
They'll go to another platform.
Right.
What would happen? My platform will lose income, revenue. And then I will lose clients.
Yeah.
I need it in the price where clients can pay and the gig worker will take it.
Right.
Otherwise, a job on a platform that's not taken is zero income for me.
Yep.
So I have to ensure we keep the workers satisfied. Now, to do that, it's good that we keep close to the ground. Hey, what do you guys need? What do you guys need? What do you guys need? Having open feedback and like getting them to submit, telling us what's not good, what's good, what's not good. Making sure there's yearly review on our rates.
Yep.
We just brought our rates up again, and then also we change it in seasonal. If it's people balik kampung, we better raise price so that people actually are compensated for staying here instead of balik kampung. So, but as a platform, the only reason we do that also is to ensure that go-getters are happy, will take the job, and the client can get someone. Otherwise, client cannot get anyone at that rate. No one wins. I have to up my price.
But you're saying that in industries where it's quite high in competition.
Yeah.
We are aware of some other industries.
Yes, fair enough.
Where there's less competition. I wouldn't say it's a monopoly, but
Fair
there's
enough.
definitely less competition.
Yes, that's a
Then
good point.
do you think that in those industries that a union might be warranted, or some sort of law should be in place for that, or not?
I cannot speak on behalf because I don't run that kind of industry.
Fair enough.
But I think the main thing is every platform, regardless if it's a monopoly or less, or almost oligopoly,
Has to be competitive.
They have to be competitive. They have to stay true long term. Even if there's no union, you will get disgruntled communities. They will self-form, and you will see people who eventually will drop out. They will stop. They would rather find an alternative. I think in the end, you cannot run away if you do not treat your workers well.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, then why don't we move on to, because we already tackled the self-employed bit already, why don't we work into this document that you guys sent around, as in GoGet, and I believe it was signed by you, right?
Yes.
Where you had certain criticisms of the gig worker bill. We didn't cover all of them in this thing, but we just wanted to talk about a few of them. So one was about the job cancellation rate of 50%. Can you tell us how this works with the current gig bill?
Okay, so this is if, sorry, I'm just trying to see which one you pulled out. This is the pre-agreed penalties.
Okay.
Okay. This is a part of the bill where they say any penalties that you put onto a gig worker must be going through DG approval.
Okay.
Okay. And I tell you that if we did that, that would be insane, right? I mean, like we work in thousands of transactions a day. How can we get this approved, right?
Sorry, not just clarifying. When you say approve, meaning the quantity of the penalty, or you mean
even the
every
nature
single
of it?
penalty
Actually,
that goes through has to go through the DG?
At this rate, the bill is not written to that level of detail. Okay, so I will tell you, I do not know.
It could very well be that.
I have no idea.
So it could be that every penalty needs to go to the DG's office.
I have no idea at the moment. This is just written as one of the things, right?
Okay.
But I take it as a nature of, hey, make sure you cannot just simply charge penalties. You need to get approval.
Okay.
Then what I say is that, well, firstly, I don't know how you're going to govern that. I don't know how you're going to run this process. I don't know how we're going to submit this. Let's pretend we even need to submit it. Right? The idea is, for example, actually in the part-time work scene for Malaysia, the show-up rate can be as low as 50%. You say you will be a waiter on Saturday, but chances are 50% you may not show up. So but you took the job. What does that do? You've now taken that job.
As a platform?
No,
As
worker.
an individual.
Worker,
Okay, as an
gig
individual.
worker, I will take the waiter job in XYZ restaurant.
Okay.
You have now stopped someone else from taking the job. You've taken someone else's spot. Okay? You've taken someone's spot, and he now has no other job because maybe our job only has one platform. I mean, one job in this entire platform. Right? So, but we've given the job to you because you took it first. You do not show up. You have now caused a client to not have a worker. You've taken away income from what another person would have showed up for. And now you've just lost the income, right? I mean, lost the income for that worker. So it's the same thing as a no-show. You book a restaurant, there's a cancellation fee, right? You book this restaurant, there's like 30 ringgit booking fee for 50 packs, and then like you don't show up, then they're like, hey, because we booked the whole thing for you. So it's the same thing where we want to do this. So actually, what is this? This is protecting other workers. So that workers are serious when they take it. Because otherwise, we've had workers complain to us, I wanted that job, and then, it ran out so fast. And then the moment someone doesn't show up, you're like, wow.
So you're telling me that in the gig bill, it basically just says platforms must obtain Director General approval before deducting penalties without description of
the mechanism.
The penalty scope or mechanism is.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what I would say then is that my solution is, instead of us having to go through a bottleneck, then get approval, just say all platforms, any penalty you charge must be pre-shown before a worker takes the job. It must be publicly advertised, shown, accepted in that way, right? Whereas like, I am aware that this is penalty that will happen if I do this action. And if I take this action, I am now held accountable for these penalties. As long as that is forced, that we must show that we told them beforehand, it was communicated, and it's executed with sound evidence, then we only execute it. Then it's fine. Then you know what? If we fail any of these, you can then slap a penalty on my platform and say, you guys didn't communicate to the worker.
But then it'd just be breach of contract, it'd be civil law anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it's buyer beware in this way, as long as it's transparent.
As long as it's transparent. If I didn't uphold my side though, yeah, you should be able to hold me accountable. And that's all we need to do. That's why it's like, why do we overcomplicate it?
Well, then again, putting on the cynical hat again, could this possibly be kind of them stepping in to be like, okay, let's have this be a two-way thing where the worker can also negotiate the penalty. Is that what they're asking for? Right now, if the penalty is just set by you guys without and the worker is just having to say, well, if I want the job, I have to agree to this penalty. Kalau tidak, I cannot get the job. Then apa bezanya daripada?
Yeah, I think this is about making sure penalties are fair.
Okay.
Yeah. And whether or not it's like maybe whether it's from DG or whether it's from the worker.
Right.
It can be any way. I think again, I guess like it's willing buyer, willing seller.
Okay.
A lot of people, if it's an obnoxious penalty, would be like,
they wouldn't have.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so then the idea would be then you don't take the job lah if you don't want the penalty.
Correct,
okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, we're asking for clarity and a practical solution that can be enabled by the platform.
Yeah.
Because this is a big stick. I think like if there's any penalty that any gig worker is not happy with, they can complain and there might be potentially a problem.
Don't forget, we do the same thing on our client side. We slap a penalty to our clients if they cancel last minute.
Yep. So it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. How come if you're regulating this industry, why don't you regulate the whole side?
Yep.
Why are you only regulating one side?
Okay.
Fair. Okay. Next, we're moving on to this criticism, which is about SOXO. So tell me if I'm getting this wrong, but essentially what I'm seeing here is that for every platform that they sign up to, or for every contract that they sign, they pay a separate SOXO.
No.
Well, yes, so that's the point of confusion. Is it per job? Is it per platform? Is it?
Okay, so technically, they say that there will be an API that allows one IC number to contribute from multiple platforms. So each platform can contribute a portion.
Okay.
Right? So and right now it's 1.5% of that job.
Okay.
It's per job.
Okay.
Now let's say it piles up. So firstly, what are you contributing to? Right? So Perkeso typically has packages. They have 2 packages today. Fun fact, or a very important fact, is that Perkeso plan for gig has been in existence since 2020 to 2025. It's been 5 years, yeah? So
plan.
The plan for gig gig social security like packages exists. It's in the market. You can go buy a gig insurance today in Perkeso.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just do it. Yeah. Right? So it's possible. Now, when we say what are the 2 packages, it's a monthly package or a yearly package. So firstly, how much then? Let's go to the smallest denominator, monthly. The smallest package is 13 ringgit 10 cents to be covered. How much does your full-time worker in a full-time payroll contract contribute to SOXO if they are an entry level? 2,600.
Yep.
They contribute 12 ringgit 75 cents.
Okay.
That is lower than 13 ringgit 10 cents. That means if you are a full-time 2.6 thousand ringgit income earner in a month, you are giving less money to SOXO than a gig worker who is working for 1 day. Because that gig worker must pay 13 ringgit 10 cents.
Yeah, otak jam sikit sebenarnya.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me try again.
Yeah.
Let me try again.
I lost you somewhere there.
Okay.
Wait. So you're okay. So basically, what you're saying is that gig workers are paying more for SOXO than full-time employees.
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
Given the conditions here.
I'll tell you this. Let's say the basic entry level is cost of a salary can be 2,600 per month. Contribution that full-time staff has to do
on the salary of 2,600
of 2,600 is 12 ringgit 75
Yep.
cents.
Okay, got it.
They put that into SOXO, part of their income.
Yep.
And they get covered.
Yep.
A gig worker today who wants to just do one job today has to go and buy a package worth 13 ringgit 10 cents for the whole month.
Okay.
But how much does a gig worker earn in 1 day?
Like 100 ringgit, 200 ringgit. Yeah.
100 ringgit, 200 ringgit.
Yeah.
So I will earn 100 ringgit and I will have to pay 13 ringgit 10 cents to be covered for the whole month, but I'm only working for 1 day.
Right. And if you're not working and you get into an accident, it's not covered.
If you're not working and you get into an accident, usually Perkeso is always about work.
Right.
Work related.
Yeah.
accidents.
Yeah. Okay, I get it now. Do you get it?
Yes. But then this thing about the multiple job types.
Okay, now I'll go into job types.
Right.
So if you are a delivery gig worker and then tomorrow you want to be a babysitter
Okay.
and then the next day you want to be a waiter.
Just because I'm ADHD like that.
Yeah. 3 plans must be bought. So 3 times 13 ringgit.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. And mathematically, it just makes no sense.
And you clarified this.
I have clarified this. I have asked, do we need to buy a new category? And they say yes. Because it's linked by job type. They have created insurance package where it's linked by job type.
Is this on the side of SOXO or is it on the side of MYHR?
SOXO.
So the SOXO package has existed since 2020. Optional one, right?
I think there's like 28 categories.
It's optional.
It's optional
right?
at the moment.
So if I was, say, a Grab delivery guy, but I also happen to like babysitting.
Yeah.
And I also happen to maybe like driving a
Putting
bike
together furniture.
Yeah, putting together furniture or whatever.
Yeah.
I have to pay 3 times 13 ringgit.
10 cents, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how many days I work. But on a monthly basis, that's calculated on a
If you want to do the
monthly
monthly, yeah.
And again, Francesca, so then let's say there's a theoretical personal assistant to some CEO and they send the CEO's kids to school. They help put the furniture together in the office and they also pick up their coffee order from Starbucks. They wouldn't have, because they're a salaried personal assistant. Let's say they make 2,600.
Yeah. That's true. It's all part of the package, yeah.
Even though they're doing effectively the same
Kind
job
of.
scopes as this theoretical gig worker who does these
Okay.
different
No
job
sense. It made
types.
no sense.
So my next question is, this seems like something that is just, you could solve it quite easily. You just talk. Someone just has to listen, right? To solve this. How have your engagements been to talk to people, and have they been listening within the government and within SOXO and so on and so forth?
Since we've reached out to SOXO, to be fair, I look forward to being able to engage with them. I have though been in meetings already, and this was shared with them at least 2 years ago. That
2 years ago?
I pointed this category issue, which is weird, at least 2 or 3 years ago, because it existed, right? Because you think about it, I have 28 types of jobs in my app. So when I send this communication, it's like I need to know what to write in this communication. Hey, if you are taking a dispatch job, please buy category C. If you are taking a helper, a promoter job, please buy category G.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like, and then I thought to myself, wait a second, they're buying C and G in 1 month. Right? Then that's when I wrote in, I'm like, hey, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Francesca, has in your talking with them, did at any point they use the point, alah, 12 ringgit je, apa masalah bayar?
No. To be fair, they're
so that's
very,
not been,
they're not, yeah. They're on the ground. I do think that they do understand people. I just think they have the good intention to make a good bill. I just wish, because honestly, running a platform and gig, a lot of things you won't consider. You're like, there will actually be 2 types by one person in 1 month. That's why I'm saying my consultation for platforms is not that you have to side platform. You just need consultation so that you understand how it works.
Yep.
Then you can go and create the best bill for everyone.
Okay, so again, clarifying, this issue has existed within SOXO for the last 5 years, right? Because the SOXO
Technically,
bill
it's
has been
live
there, right?
since 2020.
But the only implication is that now the gig bill mandates that you need SOXO payments for everything.
That's exactly right.
so that's why this is a
That's why
level
now
up.
it's starting to get scary, because I go, hold on. Because in the past, because it sucks, people don't take it. Now, if you make me do it, like formally adopt it, I go, how do I do it? So to be fair, I think it's going to change when we make it mandatory. I think they have a new system.
When's it coming to action? When's it coming live?
I
Going
don't know
live?
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But with the new system, which may not require your categories, which is great, which may just be contributing 1.5% until you hit the 13.10, which unfortunately that still hasn't been resolved, the 13.10. If it can be resolved, that would be great. The thing that currently what I've seen in the voice that I've seen is that they need to find a way where if you're contributing from platform A and platform B and platform C, we need to know as platforms if that person has hit the ceiling, which is 13.10. Otherwise, I will keep contributing until 13.20, 13.40, 13.50, 15. Then the go-getter's like, why you keep taking my income?
Yeah.
Can you please stop?
For the same coverage, effectively.
For the coverage that they want. There's actually a few plans. I just chose the lowest for you.
I mean, but again, devil's advocate, the reason I assume why SOXO does this is because different categories have different risks, right?
You would make, so I thought that is actually the real reason.
Yeah.
Then in that case, why is the price the same for every category?
And the coverage is the same too, right?
The coverage is the same.
Okay, yeah.
So you clearly have blended it.
Okay.
If you clearly blended it, then you should give just one rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's clear.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. So my main thing on this one, just don't over deduct. The worker should not be asked to pay more.
Okay, we need to go a bit
Sorry.
faster.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's extremely interesting. That's why. Okay, so this is about investigations.
Yes.
Okay, so since I messed up the explanation of the last one, maybe you should take this one.
Okay, so this is the one where if we have as a platform to investigate a worker because of a misconduct, and we find out after the investigation, actually, no, he's fine. There was no misconduct.
Okay.
Then we are asked to pay 50% of the earnings that they had earned in the last month as a replacement of their income.
For the income that they lost from not working over that period of time.
Well,
Is
not
that
necessarily. What if I stopped the investigation only for 1 day? What if I only did the investigation for 1 day?
Okay.
So I mean, that sounds reasonable.
For me to pay... Okay, so I'll explain to you why it is not reasonable.
Okay.
Okay. This law or rule now means, as a platform, I'm not incentivized to do an investigation. I am now disincentivized to investigate. Because does that mean if I investigate you, I know you are guilty?
No.
Of course not.
Yeah.
That's why I have to investigate, right?
Right.
Then I can determine if you are guilty
Right.
or innocent.
Right.
So
Right?
basically, you're forced to make them guilty, so you don't have to pay the 50%.
By this
earnings.
rule, you're making platforms incentivized to make them be guilty, because then I don't have to pay the 50%. This is horrible incentive alignment.
Wait, and so again, just to clarify, maksudnya if you investigate, let's say security guard, someone says that the security guard stole money from the
something,
till,
okay.
or while no one was looking, and then they're investigated for that. You investigate for 1 day and found out no, he was putting the money back into the till. Let's just say,
Yeah.
and this would require you to then pay 50% of that day that he didn't work because he was being investigated. Is that what that?
Yes.
Okay, and now the point you're raising is now you're incentivized to find him guilty.
Or incentivized to not even investigate. Why would I investigate?
Okay.
So what's
So now if I
alternative to
don't investigate, and I'll just finish this one thought. If I don't investigate, what do I do? What does that mean?
you drop them.
No, I can't drop them.
Well, in the instance that
No,
if
if I
the
don't
security guard did
investigate-
steal or did something wrong,
Okay.
and you didn't investigate, then they would have just gotten scot free.
Yep. What else? What does the building client care think? Like, or the building people? They would think I'm a horrible.
What action can
service.
you take if you don't investigate?
They'll think that I don't do my job, and I'm not checking in on whether or not I didn't review this case, and
Right.
then the building company would just stop my contract and say, we're not giving you jobs anymore because I told you he stole. You didn't do anything. Right? We will lose clients. Clients will pull away from platforms. There will be less jobs for the gig economy in general because clients cannot trust why they should put jobs on platforms. So platforms' roles is not to side one or the other, but it is to, very similar to a government, create a safe environment for the transaction to happen. So my promise to all stakeholders is that for the job poster, I will promise that it's done safely and well. For the worker, I promise you get paid safely and well. Now, if anything happens on the situation, what is my role? My role is to check, hey, what happened? Oh, okay, that's what happened. Then we do this in action, all right? So in this case, what I'm saying is we should investigate, because if someone files a complaint, what is the right thing to do? Should I investigate? I think I should try to do my job to figure out what actually happened. I shouldn't side with anyone. I shouldn't say the client's right. I shouldn't say the worker's right. I now have to take an independent perspective. And whatever the result is, we find the truth. And I should not be penalized if the truth was he is innocent. I should be penalized though. Please, you can happily penalize me if I decided to conduct an investigation with no grounds. With absolutely no grounds, I decided to just investigate and block someone with no reason. Or that the investigation results was done in a way where maybe I didn't even talk to the go-getter, and then I just filed it as misconduct of investigation, essentially.
Sorry. Okay, I have to clarify 2 points before I have any thoughts on this. The first one being, am I right in assuming that most investigations are instigated by the clients, not by the platform?
No. Yeah, also have investigations by the worker. But this bill doesn't even protect clients.
Okay. So no, but let's say in your case, are the investigations instigated by the client or by the platform?
No. We always only. Okay, there will be two, but most of our complaints and investigation always from a client, a user.
Okay.
The only time we will do for the platform is if we see fraud.
Okay.
KYC
Understood.
is wrong lah. You someone else is taking your profile lah.
Okay, understood.
Then that's fine.
So then the second thing I had to clarify is, Iqbal gave the example of a security guard stealing money, which is obviously black and white. That's obviously a crime, right? I'm assuming that these investigations are for much smaller stuff, like incompetence or failure to do their jobs. Is that right? Or
if you just perform a 3-star instead of 5-star, we don't create an investigation.
So what kind of situations do clients instigate investigations for? That's my question.
One, maybe theft.
Okay,
You're in
so
a warehouse.
it has to be that serious.
Theft.
Okay.
Right? 2,
sexual harassment,
yes,
I imagine.
It can be 3, vulgarity, like at a job, and being aggressive, even though you may not even have hit or assaulted someone, but just being really aggressive. People are fearful of safety.
Okay.
And then we have to make sure, what are we doing this investigation for? We just have to make sure that he doesn't go on or she doesn't go on to doing it again to another user. And we have to educate and give feedback. Hey, this is what happened. Right? Yeah. And then and it's our role, we have to do that.
But at least in my opinion, there should be an incentive for the platform to carry out
An
a
investigation.
prompt investigation.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could be a really great one that that's also available. Be like, we should be fast reactive to any complaints. I mean, that makes sense. But this is different.
Okay, I guess then if I can ask you to put yourself in the shoes of someone who's getting investigated. Let's say the security guard, he was innocent. And let's say you took 2 weeks to investigate this.
Yeah.
And that's 2 weeks of him with lost income. And he's thinking, I'm innocent. Why did this happen to me?
Yep. Okay. I think there's certain ways you can mitigate.
Yeah,
there's certain ways you can make this fair. One is that we can publish and maybe say like, here are SLAs for investigations that we will promise that if we start an investigation, it has to close by 7 days.
Okay.
And you can put that publicly on the platform. The second one, what you could do, what's really important is that the responsiveness of all parties have to be on time. I can call worker, they don't pick up my call. I can message, I can email, they also don't respond. So then that will delay any SLA. Then we should say then those cases, SLA extends.
Yep.
But as long as we're always responding within, let's say, X amount of business days, then that's fair.
Yep.
So that's something where you can, so I would say, actually, this is a great segue. The Department of Standards of Malaysia has worked with the global standards to create a Malaysian standards for sharing economy. It's like a guideline.
Okay.
It's kind of like for manufacturing, you have ISO. There's a version of that you can do for platforms like us. And that would be great. And in those guidelines, there are things like do investigations within 7 days, be responsive within 2 business days. I'm just using examples. Don't quote me, right? But like these are the ways that you can be fair. And on this law, I think you can penalize platforms if we have no grounds and we did it out of our own randomness and we had no evidence and we had no other reason.
Okay.
It's fair.
Okay. As fair as you can be in a obviously shitty situation because this means either someone made a false report or a wrongdoing actually occurred.
Correct.
Yeah. But Francesca, I mean, basically what you're saying is in that situation where the security guy is wrongly accused, there is no compensation right now for his time off during the investigation.
For wrongly accused.
Effectively, no lah kan. But then, so then you're saying then there are all these other ways to make it as fair as possible.
Yes.
I don't know, like basically out of everything that you guys have talked about, I agree with most of what you say, but this one I feel, I don't know, like maybe a tweaked version of it would be okay.
Would a 10% earning replacement rule be less objectionable?
Okay, then I'll ask you. Someone would then easily game this, right? I can pack up with my client, file a complaint.
But it's only 50%, it's not 100%. So,
yeah, but if your investigation is 2 weeks, 7 days work, 700 ringgit, who's going to take that money? Hey, you file a complaint, huh? And then we agree and then become innocent. But 350 to you and me.
The flip side of it is, a gig worker who is being investigated and they generate no income within that time. And it doesn't seem like the platform is taking prompt action for whatever reason. And, we've all faced these kind of issues, right? With platforms being very muted in their responses, everyone faces that. Like people like with credit card companies and all that, you call, sometimes you don't reply and all that kind of thing, right? And this is my income that I'm talking about. So I can see some point here, whether it's a tweaked version of this or something, like shouldn't there be some sort of recourse for gig workers to have reasonable amount of time and compensation for unproductive investigations? So
time was the one I mentioned. I think you can do that.
7 days, you
right?
said,
Let's
right?
pretend you say we should all make sure we do this within 7 days or something, right?
Yeah.
In terms of money,
Yeah.
Right. Let's even say I accept that, right? And let me go and then go, okay, then I will also try to go, hey, as a client, I'll tell my clients, I'm going to charge you because you actually just randomly created this investigation. And it ended up being wrong. You didn't randomly, sorry. You had a hunch this happened and it ended up being wrong. I will charge you now. How would that make you feel as a client?
I would think that as a platform, you should have a disincentive for clients to lodge investigations. To some extent.
Then in that case of let's say a sexual harassment case, you're disincentivizing.
Maybe an investigation fee or something like that, you know? And if the investigation pans out to be true, you reimburse the investigation fee. But if it turns out to be false, there is exactly at least something to cover the cost of the investigation or something like this.
But then I have been done wrong on, and now you are making me pay you to make an investigation.
But you haven't been done wrong because the investigation turned out negative.
No. Someone stole from my premise.
Yeah, the person complaining.
You have stolen something from my premise. Now I have to pay this platform to investigate for me.
Only because you accused us wrongly because the person.
No, I didn't accuse you wrongly. What if
they just didn't find enough evidence?
Genuinely, I had a hunch. I don't know though. Can you please check?
Yeah, we can for a fee.
That would be ridiculous, right?
I don't think so.
A client would be like, you are making me pay you to do. It's okay. Let's say you file a complaint against
you're right.
ride sharing, and you're like, you know what? It was horrible. I had a horrible experience.
Okay.
And then they come back. Yeah, Ken. Can you pay me 20 ringgit to try to investigate, and then I'll let you know what happens.
Oh, tough.
It's like, you report to a police, you go to a police station, you're like, hey, police, this happened. He goes, okay, you pay me 50 ringgit to start the case?
No, I tell the policeman I pay taxes, that's enough already. Yeah. That's different though. But I mean, for a platform, I don't know. It's difficult.
But this is a very good example of that really push and pull between the different stakeholders in the case, the client, or it can be the customer. Like if I'm using a Grab riding service and the driver says something racist to me and then I file a complaint, what's my recourse there? Would I have to pay the platform for investigating? And
then especially now you have these like influencer types that do this kind of thing just to screw with people, right? You know, like you got the people who like spit into food when they work for I mean basically influencers doing horrible things to get views, right? And I remember there was one case of some influencer doing this to Grab drivers or something like that.
I didn't know that.
If someone does that purposefully, you know, that person has to be under investigation. So let's say I'm a customer, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm basically illustrating that what he said, the push and pull of all the three stakeholders, right? I start going onto every Grab car and saying that the guy is sexually abusing me or sexually, you know,
if you start having a history where you are a difficult user, we have banned people because we think job posters, not workers. We've said you shouldn't be on this platform because we suspect there's malpractice.
So maybe that's it, where there is a part of the law that mandates that, because that is not mandated right now, right? There's no mandate.
That's what I say, because it's one-sided. They don't do anything for clients.
Fair.
So, but that would be an area for improvement.
Yeah, we can. So guidelines are also, you have to keep this platform, you have to keep this environment safe. If anyone is at risk on this community, you need to pull off unsafe entities in either side. It's not I am not incentivized to keep or to be on one side. There's no way. I need the transaction to happen safely on the platform.
Okay, I think that we can agree on. So basically, it's handling it purely from the perspective of a gig worker, not from a perspective of a customer or a platform.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, last question on this thing.
It's an interesting one, huh?
How bullish are you on all three parties finding common ground, like agreement, point of agreement?
I always think it's possible. Okay. I think it's 100% possible, but I really hope people are at the table, like with open ears. Like I would love it. Yeah. Okay.
So we've got some fan stuff here as well that we need to go through really quickly because we are getting on the long side of things. Okay. So this one was interesting. Someone pointed out, following the government regulation of 15%. As far as I know, I'm just clarifying with you, absolutely. There is no regulation for the take, right? Okay, so I'm sorry, Mr. Alex 7238574. That's incorrect information. There is no 15% regulation on take. Do you think there should be?
I do not think price setting should be done by a single entity.
A bill, right?
Yeah, by a bill. Yeah. I do think I believe in free market mechanisms.
Yep.
And you need the market to clear.
Okay, fair enough. Then next one. This is really interesting. Does the gig bill make things more expensive for the consumers, from the platforms and thus the consumers?
Yeah. are there implications?
Yeah, because obviously there will be a lot of new mechanisms that need to be built. Platform integrations.
Yeah.
So I would say I don't know how every platform is going to handle the costs and whether they will pass it through or not. But I will say, from the gig worker side, let's say if now a certain percentage goes off as non-disposable, and I cannot take that into my pocket, it has to go into somewhere else. I may be a higher cost to be engaged. I need more take home. My take home now used to be 10. Maybe now it's 9.5 or 8.
Because of SOXO?
Because we're going to deduct. Okay. And you will not have that in your pocket. So if you want to go out and buy that copy, you only have 8 ringgit 50 cents. You don't have 10 ringgit now. Maybe me as a worker will go, no, I will look for a 12 ringgit job. So I can get my 10.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, to the clients, and if this is a client asking it, then yes, you may see delivery fees go up purely because people need more cash in their hands.
And sorry to break it to you, Waste Treacle, it's not just delivery, it's photography, it's acting, it's what else is in there? Singing or whatever else was in that Schedule 2 list of all the freelancers. Every single one of them will go up because they all have to pay 12 ringgit and 10 cents.
So really my take home is less.
Yeah. What about the other stuff? Like cost-wise on the platform side, is this going to cost you guys a lot? Like based on what's already happening right now? Or is that unclear at this point?
To be fair, there will be integration.
Okay.
For SOXO, I believe. You would have an upfront cost of integration. Then you'll have just general data storage, server fees to maintain and keep storing and keep running your platform.
Can we get a broad picture of the things that the gig bill will be costing platforms besides SOXO integration? Besides SOXO integration.
The other one is the penalty of the 50% if that goes through.
Okay.
We would need to have an investigation pool or like a pool to be able to give out if we're wrong. If we're not wrong on the investigation, we just did the investigation.
Yeah.
And he was innocent.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, I'm very happy he's innocent. Why would I want my worker to be guilty?
Yeah.
So, but funnily enough is when I'm happy, I have to pay out. Like when I'm happy he's innocent, I will have to pay him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would need to put a pool probably aside for investigation to pay out my workers. I'm not sure where that comes from. I would have to take a cut from the commission, which is where my revenue is, and then put a pool for investigation. And then I guess there is other areas like, depends if there's other rules of like compliance, then we may have to hire people to ensure we meet it within the SLA of the date and time. So let's say if I have to submit my penalties for me to eventually approve it, get it approved by DG and then put it on my platform, I need one person to file it, make sure it gets responded, and then maybe put it out. Like there's some admin costs.
That's if it's every penalty, not if it's like for every penalty scenario. Like we talked about that, whether they didn't define it properly. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? In the other categories or
of even stuff that we didn't talk about because we only highlighted a few portions of.
I did notice. By the way, there is a 14-day SLA for us to do an investigation.
Oh, there is a 14-day SLA. So if there's a 14-day SLA, then they don't need the.
Well, they can. I think you can tweak that to say if we did the investigation with no grounds, we need evidential proof, reason, logic to even start investigation. We cannot just start it out of our own whim. Then you are fair. That's good, right? At least you can then penalize me if I was just being horrible as a platform.
I guess what they're trying to do is compare it to a full-time job where if you're put on no pay leave. Not no pay leave, paid leave or like what do you call it? Suspension. Paid suspension, So you still get a salary while you're being investigated for whatever you do wrong. So, like if a full-time worker at GoGet was investigated for sexual harassment, they would still be paid. Right? So I guess, is that what they're trying to do in a way?
Probably. They take the full-time employment definitions and apply it here.
Yeah, which, I mean, of course it doesn't match up because full-time employees have more commitment to your company, but it's 50%. I don't know. I mean, that one I just feel like...
I guess, okay, so Francesca, with like lingering on this delivery fee going up point and kind of reiterating the statement of appreciation you guys put out as a collective, even if this was the case, you're not against the principle of we need to protect our workers and everything. And even if that means prices do go up, if it's for the benefit of the ecosystem, sepatutnya okay je lah kan?
Yeah.
You're not against,
We're definitely not against
any of this.
Because we even did this when we started the business. We had insurance. Then we created on-demand insurance. And then we pushed the 2020 per queso insurance when it went live. We've always supported insurance. Actually, I'm so happy we have insurance. This bill will be great because it will be more affordable, better coverage. I just wish they had a daily insurance instead of monthly and yearly. And I wish they have a cap for contribution so that we do not over deduct from a worker.
Right.
But then, so on that point, do you then hope that customers understand, or like the regular general public understand these things? Because if, say, the bill passes and you're having to implement all of these mechanisms and our delivery fee does go up, and we start complaining, does that make you guys feel macam apa benda pula korang ni dah?
Yeah. Well, it's always hopefully just communication. I hope people know that generally we'll have a better Malaysia. You'll have less issues on maybe the healthcare system if this is properly covered, and then your taxpayer money will be used better. Right? So we should all be, if people are being treated better, we should all be happy as Malaysian.
Do you have anything to say about comparing to Singapore? Have you analyzed the Singapore bill at all?
I have not analyzed it to the T, but I know some of the points you said about CPF. CPF in Singapore is different. It includes the version of per kisel.
Yeah.
So technically, at least it has the whole thing, and they did it one shot. It's because that was the only, they don't have EPF and per kisel, they just have CPF.
Yeah.
So I understand why they go CPF.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand in Malaysia why SOXO was first and maybe EPF is later.
And also, I believe that Singapore only covers platforms. They don't cover anything outside of platforms.
Correct. Singapore made it mandatory for really the ride sharing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for delivery of food, but they do not touch anything else outside. Your videographers are not touched in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So that's almost done. I think the only thing else that I remember seeing, and I couldn't actually find the final post, was that Anwar commented about this just recently. Actually, he said that this gig bill is a gift to all gig workers, which again goes back to what you said earlier about how the gig bill is seen as like very gig worker focused and not enough
ecosystem
on the
focused
platforms and the consumers, right? Having said that, just to wrap up on a little bit of a brighter note, what good do you see coming out of this gig worker bill compared to there not being a bill at all?
Sure. Can I say I wish his sentence was, this is a gift for the gig economy? That would be great. But the second one is, there are benefits. Obviously, I do hope that generally, the gig workers will be more protected on an insurance and healthcare basis. It's sending a signal to also generally to ensure that we run our platforms fair,
responsibly.
Yeah. I do think there are other ways to do it with industry guidelines and standards, industry standards, with sandboxing first with us, with consultation, with ensuring the mechanisms are good. And ensuring that workers are not overpaid. But the essence of it is, I understand how it helps workers on the intention. Execution-wise, you're actually now charging a gig worker more than a full-time employee. I don't think that's a gift. I think you're slapping a higher bill.
But the intention is to provide more protection for the gig worker.
Intention, it's good.
Yeah. But the devil's in the details, and unfortunately, those need to be defined before whenever this bill actually becomes a law.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what recourse do you guys have until then? Like, are there any other further consultations? Or?
Yeah, we are going to be engaged with some of the entities, so we really look forward to that, and we'll be sharing all our discussions that we did today.
Okay, well, keep us on board.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks
so much for being with us today, Francesca.
Yeah. Okay. With that, we end this episode of Siapa Makan Cili on the Gig Workers Bill. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm Chat.
I'm Iqbal, and we'll see you on our next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.